Welcome back. A week into the Rutgers basketball abuse scandal, and the university's got a new head basketball coach, a new AD, but not a new university president. Still, Dr. Barchi, he was squarely in the spotlight again today as he hosted a town hall at the Rutgers campus, and Fox 1's Christy Duffy was there.
There were students, faculty, alumni, and the media all pouring out the door here at the Rutgers Newark campus Monday at the town hall style meeting where the president was up at the podium. Some hoisted signs calling for his resignation. Dozens lined up at the microphone to ask questions. Many of the people here criticized the university president, Dr. Robert Barchi, sharply. Most over the university's reorganization, but a handful threw pointed questions at the president over the basketball coach scandal.
Did you know that an employee of this university had engaged in that conduct?
How come this coach has not been arrested for assault?
What plan do you have as part of your strategic planning to deal with the change in the climate and culture so that there is acceptance of the LGBT and other minority communities?
I will not tolerate that sort of behavior on this campus.
But after receiving the president's answers, not everybody who stepped to the mic is satisfied.
I don't see an outreach to the LGBT community.
I have concerns about the people who are running the show at the university, the leadership, and that goes all the way to the top. You know, at some level it goes all the way to the governor's office.
At Rutgers Newark, I'm Christy Duffy.
Thanks, Christy. Now, as we continue reporting an analysis story, I want you to keep this in mind. The university and its president, they could have resolved this months ago. Now, the president, who you just saw there, he said last week he would have fired Coach Rice had he only seen the videotape earlier. It's a videotape he had in his possession all the way back in November, but he didn't bother to watch it till last week. And he was asked why last Friday.
This is a half-hour edited video. It's not every day that the head coach of a major college program gets suspended for 3 games. I think that was a substantial penalty, absent anyone knowing about what was on the video. So when your head basketball coach gets suspended for 3 games, why couldn't you find a half hour to pop that DVD in and look at it?
In retrospect, it's easy to say that I could have and should have. What I heard was that my chief counsel was there looking at it and giving his expert opinion, as was an outside counsel, as was my AD.
Just a little perspective. The guy's told his student athletes, his students, and as a president, the welfare and well-being of your students is your first priority. They were being abused in some way, shape, or form, and he never bothered to look at the video. The cynic in me, Andrew, says, come on. We got a little bit more of the TikTok and some of the background. We learned more of it this weekend.
We did, but I want to give you just a couple of updates out of Rutgers. Rutgers today announcing it's hired a new interim athletic director. He is former Dean Carl Kirshner. RU also announcing it's launched an internal investigation into the incident. It's going to look at what happened within the basketball team and also the university's response at the time and why nothing was done before last week. In a separate report, we're also hearing that Eric Murdoch, the assistant who edited the video together, now being investigated over whether he tried to extort the university out of money in exchange for not releasing the tapes. But here's the additional reporting about what went on behind the scenes at Rutgers in those intervening months between when the tape was made and when the coach was dismissed last week. The Times reporting that the initial RU focus was on whether Coach Rice exposed the school to its own legal liability, focusing on things like hostile work environments and not about the coach's actions themselves. Also, 2 sources telling ESPN a Rutgers focus was on money, calling the decisions and decision-making process cheap, and that the university was under financial pressures that would have added to the importance of Rutgers making that switch to the Big Ten, thanks in part to the school's 9-figure renovation of its football stadium. Governor Chris Christie also spoke today. He defended RU's president and said he thinks anybody who should be punished from this incident already has been.
I think he showed leadership, Charlie. I mean, if you want to define leadership as having to have asked to see the video, he made a mistake. It's not a fireable offense. And when he knew the gravity of the situation, which is when he saw the videotape on Tuesday night, he took decisive action from there. Coach Rice was fired the next morning. And soon thereafter, he came to an agreement on Mr. Pernetti's resignation. It's pretty good work for 72 hours. All I can say is that we know this was going on now for 3 years, and no action was taken by the person directly in charge to do anything about it that brought some finality or closure to it.
And one additional note, the governor also saying if he had seen the videotape, he would have fired the coach without a second thought. But Rich, he also said that as far as he's concerned, Trenton's role in all of this is done. No investigation from the governor's office. He doesn't think the legislature should investigate either.
Richard, my friend, you played some college ball yourself. We know what joining a conference like the Big Ten means. Boku bucks, TV contracts, everything that goes along with it for an athletic department. I'm sorry. This is the same campus that Tyler Clementi committed suicide after cyberbullying over his sexuality. This is the same campus that was irate, justifiably so, when Imus years ago called the women's basketball team here some less than flattering terms. And now they don't even, the president, I mean, look at the tape. The coach and the AD, they should have been shown the door. What do you think about the president?
Here's my thoughts. I mean, I'm shocked by Christie's comments as a former U.S. attorney who prosecuted 45 elected officials for corruption. We all know, I'm an attorney myself, I practice in employment discrimination. We all know it's about what you knew and when you knew it. And if the university president knew about these allegations, he didn't have to watch the video. And if he was part of the cover-up, then he needs to go too. We've seen what happened in Penn State. Yep. Same thing needs to happen there at Rutgers.
You mentioned Penn State. To me, Dominic, when Penn State happened, there is no rationale. There shouldn't have been before. But if you're in office, a college president, right? The idea that you would tolerate abuse on your campus, let alone students, forget it. It's just mind-boggling to me. Even CYA says he should have done something. Forget about doing the right and ethical thing. I'm surprised he's got a job. You?
Yes, all of this does not pass the smell test.
Right.
It does not pass the smell test. The president was looking at the Big Ten. Was it the Big Ten? Mm-hmm. He was looking at that money. Remember, this guy that's being investigated by the FBI now, yep. He was standing on the sideline screaming for anyone that would pay attention.
He had meetings, how many times, Andrew, Murdoch that was, it kept getting rescheduled before finally had a meeting the day the Big Ten was announced, the deal.
It does. This is horrible. The president could say he didn't see the tape all he wants to. Maybe he didn't see the tape, but he knows what was going on. You're right. What did you know? When did you know? The president has to go.
One other element I just want to put on the table. This is at a time when Rutgers is merging with medical schools in New Jersey and when there are education cuts in New Jersey as well. This money from the Big Ten deal, was there extra pressure on making that happen because of the circumstances that the school found itself in financially? Did that contribute to allowing this to continue, or at least not resolving it earlier? That may be the next part of the story.
I think there's more that's coming out. I think you're 100% right, Andrew. All right, stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.